Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is CMG Talk. This is Catherine Gallagher. Welcome to the new and latest episode. And as per usual, I will be following speakers' terms and conditions, and there will be no music played in this episode. This is about an episode on the best advice. The best advice that we can give ourselves and that we would love to be able to give ourselves if we could turn back clock and visit ourselves in our earlier years. And people often will say that, I wish I knew what I know now. I wish I knew it then. If I was in my 16 years, or if I was in my 20s, or if I was 30 or 40 or 50 or 60, I'd go back and I'd tell myself this. And often the advice we want to give ourselves is about things that we have learned over the years. Or maybe we've heard someone else speak or talk about experiences and we've thought, you know what, that's great advice. I'd love to have been able to give myself that. And often the topics are about what kind of topics can you think about that you would love to be able to give advice to yourself on? Can you think? Because when I talk and give talks, and maybe I'm doing trainings, this will come up, this subject. And I remember actually watching recently, it was posted on one of the platforms, and I was watching this video and it was about this very subject. And it was a group of men and women that were talking about going back and telling themselves advice that they thought would be very helpful and very useful. And when I talk to people that are in their 80s or their 90s or 70s, they'll often say things like, I would go back and tell myself that it's going to be okay. Or I would say, like, don't sweat the small stuff, or you held on to that grudge far too long, right? You really needed to make amends or let it go because it's only harmed you. Or, you worried so much when really what was really important was focusing on family or friends or your relationship. What mattered was people. It was the people in your life. Love more, enjoy more, be playful, have fun. Why are you stressing? Why are you doing those unhelpful thinking, self-sabotaging, catastrophizing? Why are you delaying and putting off having that adventure? Because you know what? You really enjoyed it. Why are you giving it so much thinking space when you could just go on with it and have so much fun, right? So often we look to make sense of. Sometimes the things that we look back on are things that we think, I wish I hadn't done that. Right? I wish I hadn't delayed having children. Or I wish I hadn't put off having children. Or I wish I had met a partner for me to be able to have children. Because now I'm at an age now where I'm not a childbearing age and I can't have children. And that's a real experience for a lot of women where they really grieve the loss of being able to have children because they're no longer able to bear children. Men don't have that really. And they can't have children themselves, and then they're often excluded from adopting or fostering because they're seen to be too old too. It's ageism really, isn't it? Biologically, obviously, men can have children a lot longer in life. And if you're going to look down other routes, it's exceptionally expensive, which often a lot of people can't afford. The things that often people will talk about is, maybe if they've had an addiction, they maybe look at, the effects that's had on their health, and then later on in life it often comes back and often experience major health problems. And often people talk about, maybe impacts on their life if they've got diabetes or they've been smoking, cardiovascular problems. And then sometimes people say, I wish I hadn't done that, taken that risk, because maybe it's impacted in my health in some way. It might be they had an accident, right? Or maybe they look back in a relationship and they see that there were red flags there, but they never really paid attention to them. And knowing what they know now, they would have recognised that and they wouldn't have been there. But often it's difficult if there's children involved, because often you think, well, I'd still want to go through that relationship to still have my children, just not to have that behaviour. And then sometimes we look back and we look at maybe risks that we've taken financially, investments. Maybe we've been scammed. There's so many things we look back on and we think with hindsight, I wish. Is hindsight useful? It can be useful, I guess, if we're imparting it to others. If we have knowledge built and we can give and impart and pass forward our understanding, our knowledge to others around us, then it often feels as if, even though I went through this experience, being able to impart this knowledge to other people around me, whether it's my children or my grandchildren, my nieces, my nephews, or people that are around me in some forum that can listen, take and learn from my experiences, then it doesn't seem as if it's been wasted. I'm able to prevent and shortcut other people having to go through the painful journey, and they can just reap the rewards of the experience and the outcome. They can benefit from it. When we look at finding the benefit of our journey, it really helps us, doesn't it, to scaffold our learning, to be able to see and make sense of what that journey was about. I know that was a difficult experience. I know that was a hard journey. I know. But look where it's taken me. Look where I am now. And being able to tell ourselves. But often what we do is we look back and we want to tell ourselves not to sweat the small stuff, not to get stuck with fretting or procrastinating, putting off and delaying. Sometimes when I talk to people, they don't necessarily look at why I'm doing this. They know they're doing it. They know the reason is because it's short-term gain often. But they don't necessarily look at, is it working? Because what they tend to say is, well, it's giving me short-term gain, but they're stuck because it's not giving them overall benefit. It doesn't work overall. It's not allowing me to grow. It's not allowing me to develop into the best version of myself. I might get short-term gain for this, but it's keeping me stuck in a loop, in a pattern of behaviour that's not working, that's not healthy. If I'm procrastinating about something, delaying making a decision, I'm always going to default to feeling frustrated because procrastination isn't action. It doesn't give me gain. What makes that easier, better, is when I take action and make a decision. It releases the tension. And it's not until we see past the procrastination and understand that that's keeping me stuck. So yes, it's preventing me making the wrong decision in my mind, But it's also preventing me from making the right decision. And making a choice is better than making no choice, because no choice is keeping me stuck. So it's always about how we choose to look at things and how we choose to word it. And often when people talk to me about, okay, hindsight, if I knew what I know now, unpacking that and saying, what exactly would I want to know? And how would I know I would listen? It's the gem within it. It's the aha moment, the light bulb. And when we can pass that on to others, they then will home in on that and they'll uptake that and walk with it in their journey. It's like footprints, isn't it? When someone walks in your footprints, because they see the journey that you've taken has been a worthwhile journey, and they're happy to take that journey too, because they see where you've gone and they know that it's a good outcome to have. If only I knew then what I know now. But I need to know what it is that I'd be imparting. What's the gem?